Hi, Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I've recently been working with the Winter Woods bundle. I just finished a Christmas card that I posted, and now I want to do a very fast and easy autumn card using the same bundle and using the Itty Bitty Greetings. This is a Clearmount stamp set. There's actually two cases that you get with it because there's so many neat sayings, greetings, and I'm using this one here that says with gratitude, and we're going to add that to the bottom of our card. So the technique I'm using is going to be reverse embossing with our Gamboge Brusho Crystal Colors, and the colors that I'm going to be using are Gamboge, Brilliant Red, and Yellow, and I'm using white embossing powder on some watercolor paper. The watercolor paper is cut at 5 3¾ I am then layering that on I think it's curry, and then this is early espresso. Oh, Cajun curry, that's it, and early espresso. So I've kind of cut my card long ways, but it's still 5½ by 4¼ base. I'm also using some burlap ribbon here, and of course you're going to have to use some of your adhesives. As you can see how pretty that looks with the white embossing. I'm going to be stamping using my Stamparatus. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take my Versamark out, and I've got my Stamparatus here, and I have my plates organized with two stamps. The first one is going to be our tree stamp, and if you watched my other video, you'll notice, and you can see kind of like the stamp offs from the other card that I made. I'm simply going to stamp, and then I'm going to move it down, and I'm going to stamp again, and that's how I'm going to ensure that I get that even, nice application across the face of my card. I'm then going to go ahead and switch my plate, and this is going to be where I'm going to stamp my my greeting on my watercolor paper. Now go ahead and put this down and get my watercolor paper. I'm just going to line my watercolor paper here. Now there's two sides of your watercolor paper. There's a rough side and a smooth side. I'm using the smooth side. I'm just going to line it up. My magnets. Okay, and that's exactly how I want it. I'm going to grab my Versamark and ink up my stamp. I'm going to stamp. Open it up. I'm going to move my stamp over so that it's now lined up like that. And I'm going to Versamark stamp. Ink it up with Versamark again. And go ahead and stamp that. Now, if I were doing a complete series, I would just simply take this out, and I'd go ahead and I'd move on to stamp my next card. But I'm going to go ahead and move into here, and I'm going to bring my white embossing powder and sprinkle that all over my card. And I have to, I'm almost out of my white embossing powder. I do have some more, but I like to use it all the way up to the end. I've got to make sure I get this corner right here with this tree. And there we go. I got a couple of pieces I want to kind of get out of the way that kind of got in the way there. But okay, so that is good. Let me go ahead and I've had that embossing powder for a couple of years, so it really lasts a long time. There's a little piece right here I want to kind of brush away because I did fail to use my my good old embossing buddy, and there it was. So let's go ahead and emboss this. Okay, so that's completely embossed. You can see the trees right there. So now I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel, 2 sheets of paper towel, and close my Versamark. And now I'm going to bring in, and I'm going to do this dry. I have a little water spritzer here. I'm going to bring in my yellow, and I'm going to sprinkle that on the top. I have Gamboge, which I'm going to sprinkle in the middle. And now I'm just simply going to spray across . I'm going to add some more Gamboge. This is kind of your orange color. And I do not like this. I don't know where this color came from, but I definitely don't want it in my card. Okay, I don't know where that color came from. Got this. And then I'm going to take my red right here, my Brilliant Red, and this is what's going to go on the bottom of our card. I'm just going to kind of tip that and just let that kind of go down to the bottom. Here's my yellow. I'm going to grab an aqua painter because I just want to pick this color up that seems to be just painting over whatever that color is. Okay, so now that I have that, oops, I've gotten all disoriented here. Okay, I'm going to take my heat gun and see if I can move some of that around. If not, then I'm just going to bunch up my paper towel and I'm going to blot. And there we go. I've got my I've got my color. I would like to put a little bit more red on the bottom of my card. So I'm just going to kind of add a little bit. That there, you see that? And I'm just going to kind of let that sit right there and absorb into my paper. So I started with the yellow, I have the gamboge, and then I kind of mixed them together, and then I want to kind of make sure I get some of that brilliant red at the bottom so that I have a really nice color change right there from the yellow down to the red. Okay, so now all I'm going to do to dry my sheet is I'm simply going to turn on my heat gun and I'm going to dry my paper. So now that I have that done, the next thing I want to do is I want to stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to grab my Stamparatus. I'm going to put this into place. And I have my plate that already has my sentiment measured. I'm going to take my espresso, early espresso, and there you go. Perfect. So that's done. Take that aside. So the next thing we want to do is I want to, I've already stamped on a piece of Very Vanilla with Gratitude, this itty bitty little block. So I have a 1 3/4 by 7/8 oval punch, and I'm just going to have to trim this down. I'm just going to center it right there. And there we go. And now I'm going to grab a piece of burlap and a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to just clip a V into my burlap like that, going from the corner diagonally straight across, clipping a V into my burlap. There we go. I got lots of little burlap pieces there, and my burlap is going to go right there, and I'm going to use my tear tape for my burlap. So I'm just going to get a small piece of burlap, a small piece of tear tape right along. Going to make sure it adheres nicely. There it is. See, it's totally transparent. And we're going to put that right there. Now with Gratitude, I'm going to use some mini glue dots. I'm just going to put 3 mini glue dots along the back of my sentiment, and I'm going to just place that right there. So now I can take my matting piece, which is the crushed curry, and since this is watercolor paper, I want to use my tear tape again just to make sure that, because it does bow a little bit because we wet it, so I want to make sure that it is rocky. It's okay. And there you go. Look at that. 2 very nice cards made with the Winter Woods set. We've gone from winter to autumn. Very versatile set. Really love it. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you'll come back and visit me. Again, I'm offering a free Stamparatus if you, for the first one that buys a $99 demonstrator package. I'm calling it the ultimate bundle. There's no obligation. You just get a lot of neat products for $99. Kat Chancellor, Stamp Art Connection, and StampArtConnection.com. Happy stamping and have a blessed Sunday.